Alarm for Cobra 11 is a racing game that was released for the PlayStation 2 in 2003, and this game is based off of a popular action series that would have been released in Germany that comprises of a selection of different cars but also utilises characters or actors from the TV series, and the goal is to race and to play pretty much as undercover cops to take down street racers, where you race on different types of environments, anything from city streets to highways. So you play through different missions in the game, either from street races or you have to play as police cars themselves, with the goal to try and take out and to arrest speeding drivers. So there is a different variety of gameplay styles thrown into the mix in this game. Now the game itself utilises a varying mix of different styles, even handling characteristics with regards to the cars, as the game is quite fast to play and you have a select number of cars, although they're not licensed cars, but they're all modelled somewhat off of very popular cars. You can see that from the visual aesthetics, but they will change certain ideas based off of various kind of like grills or just body parts on the car, so that it doesn't look exactly like what the original counterparts would. But what does the game feel like to play? Well, the game is fun, but I will say that it is challenging. Again, when you're racing, you also have to pick up various items and pickups that you will come across as you race. Anything from wrenches that will help you to repair your car as you race, and also speed boosts that will help you to try and keep ahead of your opponents. But the one thing that you will know apparently straight away is the aggressiveness of the computer AI in this game, because the game itself is very difficult to play, and it can also be a difficult game to pick up and play for most people too, because with the handling characteristics of the cars, they do vary in quality depending on which car that you choose. But just know that the handling in this game is very twitchy, so you can crash out very easily. But it's the computer AI that is the major issue with this game, because while you could have a perfect race, it's very hard to keep ahead of your opponent, or if you're behind them at any point, there's a very slim chance of you catching up, even with the opponents that are towards the bottom of the pack. If you're in last place, even to get past the people that are just above you in position is nigh on impossible in some cases. Now you will find some races that you will be able to gain an advantage and get ahead of them, but you have to make sure that you do not make mistakes, so you have to memorize the tracks, the layouts, and to make sure to know when to use speed boosts. But on the more open-ended tracks where you're racing on the likes of the highways and motorways, that's where the game really becomes more difficult, because the longer stretches of road allow the opponents to gain so much speed that whoever's in first place is pretty much gone. That's it, it's race over pretty much from the start. See, there's no real balance with the AI physics in the game, so it doesn't really allow players as such to at least get into the game to some degree. So you'll find yourself always trailing behind, and if you do happen to win a race, it would be very slim, regardless of the skill level. In some cases it just will go against you. Now that shouldn't take away from the game itself. Like, it does have some really nice features and it does have some decent graphics for what is on offer, and it just has a cool aesthetic about it. But it's just the gameplay in terms of the controls of the cars and the AI is what will spoil it for most people. But it really just depends on your own preferences as to whether it's a game that might be worthwhile playing or not. Again, this would be a lower budget quality style game, so there is always a caveat with these type of entries that would have been seen on the PlayStation and even on earlier consoles, and you still often see that in games of today. You can always tell the differences in the variations of quality of games when they're being released and how they play and feel. But it's still a genuine decent racer. It plays a lot of like the London racer games that would have also been seen on the PS1 and PS2. It just has that same kind of dynamic and aesthetic to it. So if you played any of those games, you will be fairly familiar with this here. But I would love to know your thoughts on Alarm for Cobra 11 for the PlayStation 2, if you have played it yourself, and if so, what do you think of this type of game? Is this the type of racing game that you enjoy, or do you find it as frustrating as most people probably have? I'd love to hear whatever thoughts you do have of this game, so be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be updated of future videos. And if you would like to see more videos on the channel around similar types of racing games, then you can check out this playlist here on screen to see more of those games in action. And as always, I will see you in the next one.